What if the most important lesson you were ever meant to learn was hidden inside a children's movie? What if the answers to your self-doubt, your fear of failure, your deep, quiet belief that you are somehow not enough were waiting for you inside the story of a clumsy, overweight panda who just wanted to eat dumplings? Because here is what no one is telling you. Kung Fu Panda is not a movie about martial arts. It is not a movie about a chosen one. It is a movie about you. About every single version of you that ever whispered to itself, I am not ready. I do not belong here. People like me don't get to have dreams like this.
And today, right now, we are going to dismantle every single one of those lies. Welcome to Hidden Lens, the channel where we look at the stories the whole world has already seen and find the truths almost nobody noticed. If this is your first time here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what we do on this channel is not just watch movies, we decode them. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you will never watch Kung Fu Panda the same way again. Let's begin.
Lesson 1. The secret ingredient is nothing and everything. Let me ask you something personal. What is the one thing you are desperately searching for right now? Maybe it is confidence. Maybe it is talent. Maybe it is that one secret technique, that one perfect mentor, that one magical morning when you finally wake up feeling like you are ready. Because that is exactly what Po was searching for. His whole life, before the academy, before the dragon scroll, before any of it, he believed that greatness lived somewhere outside of himself, that there was a secret formula that truly great people had, and that he simply didn't. And then comes one of the most quietly devastating scenes in animated film history. Po unrolls the Dragon Scroll, the legendary document said to hold the secret to limitless power, the thing everyone had been building toward. He looks at it,
And it is blank. Just a golden, reflective surface. His own face, looking back at him. He collapses. He walks home. He gives up. And in the kitchen, his father, Mr. Ping, the most lovable noodle shop goose in cinema history, sits down beside him and tells him the real secret. He says, there is no secret ingredient. He explains that his famous soup, the soup people traveled miles for, the soup everyone believed was magic, had never had a special ingredient. I just told people it was special, and they believed it. And in that moment, something breaks open inside Po. The scroll was not empty. It was a mirror. The secret to being the dragon warrior was not hidden inside a scroll. It was always hidden inside the warrior who read it.
Now, stop for a moment and be honest with yourself. How many times have you waited to feel ready before you started something? How many times have you looked at someone successful and told yourself, they must have something I was never born with? How many times have you been searching for the secret ingredient when you are the secret ingredient? The world is flooded with people who are waiting to feel worthy before they begin. And Kung Fu Panda is delivering one of the most radical truths in all of storytelling. You do not find worthiness first and then begin. You begin, and the beginning is the worthiness. This lesson alone is worth rewatching the entire film. But we are just getting started.
Early in the story, before Po is chosen as the Dragon Warrior, something strange happens. He cannot get into the arena for the tournament. He tries climbing the walls, he tries sneaking through the crowd, he tries everything. He fails every time. And in a moment of absolute desperation, completely by accident, he straps himself to a chair full of fireworks and launches himself into the sky. He screams through the air and lands directly in the center of the ceremony, right in front of Master Oogway at the exact moment Oogway chooses the Dragon Warrior. The crowd laughs. Even Po laughs. But Master Oogway does not laugh. He looks at Po quietly, and he says, "There are no accidents." 4 words. And if you truly internalize those 4 words, they have the power to reframe your entire life. Think about the moments that felt like catastrophic mistakes. The job you did not get. The relationship that fell apart at exactly the wrong time. The door that slammed in your face just when you thought everything was finally perfect. What if none of it was random? What if the path that seemed broken was always leading you exactly where you needed to arrive? Oogway is not being poetic when he says this. He is being precise. He is telling us that the universe is not chaotic, that what we read as failure is often just order. We have not yet lived long enough to understand. Po falling from the sky looks like a cosmic joke, but it was the single event that changed his entire destiny. I want you to think about your own life right now. What is the accident that might be a miracle you haven't recognized yet? What is the detour that is actually the road? Drop it in the comments. Seriously, because your answer might be exactly what someone else needed to read today. We are about halfway through, and I want to be completely honest with you. The next 3 lessons are the ones that personally changed how I see myself, especially lesson 4. Because lesson 4 is about the villain. And what Tai Lung reveals about the unhealed psychology hiding inside you and me is something most people are simply not ready to hear. But you came to Hidden Lens, so I know you are ready. Stay with me. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Master Oogway, spoken quietly, under a peach tree. One of the most psychologically advanced lines ever written into an animated film. Let me explain exactly why. Modern psychological research tells us that the majority of human suffering comes from one of 2 places. Either we are living in the past, trapped in guilt, shame, regret, and the endless mental replay of everything we wish we had done differently. Or we are living in the future, drowning in anxiety, worst-case scenarios, imagined catastrophes that have not happened and may never happen. In both cases, we are not here. We are not present. We are not alive in the only moment where life actually happens, which is right now.
Oogway did not need a psychology textbook to understand this. He had watched students rise and fall across a lifetime. He had watched destiny unfold and unravel. And he knew, with absolute clarity, that the present moment is not a philosophical luxury. It is the only real currency any of us ever actually has. Think about how much energy disappears from your life every single day into moments that no longer exist or haven't arrived yet. All of that magnificent, irreplaceable life force gone into yesterday, into tomorrow, into the one place it can never do anything useful. Oogway is whispering something ancient and urgent at the same time. Come back. Be here. This moment, right now, is the only moment where your life is actually happening. And for Po, he had to stop fantasizing about the dragon warrior he dreamed of becoming tomorrow and start being the warrior capable of showing up today. When he finally made that shift, everything changed. And it will change for you too. Lesson 4. Your villain is your unhealed self. Take a breath before we go into this one. Because we are not going to talk about Tai Lung as a villain. We are going to talk about Tai Lung as a mirror. Tai Lung was extraordinary. By every single measure of talent, discipline, and raw dedication, he was the greatest student Shifu had ever trained. He had given everything. He had sacrificed years of his life. He had been promised greatness. And then, it was taken from him. Oogway looked into his eyes and saw something dark growing beneath the ambition, and denied him the dragon scroll. And Tai Lung broke. He attacked the Jade Palace. He was imprisoned for 20 years, and he returned not with wisdom from that imprisonment, but with nothing but rage, entitlement, and one consuming, desperate need. To finally be told that everything he suffered was worth it, that he deserved what had been promised. Here's the question I want you to sit with. Have you ever been Tai Lung? Have you ever worked incredibly hard, given something absolutely everything you had, and had it denied? Have you felt what happens inside you in that exact moment? There is a fork in the road that appears when you are rejected at your most vulnerable. One path says, "This hurt me deeply. I need to understand why. I need to heal. I need to find what is truly valuable inside myself. The part that no scroll can give or take away." The other path says, "I was right. They were wrong. I will burn everything down until the world admits it." Tai Lung chose the second path. And the devastating truth Kung Fu Panda is showing us is that the villain is not born from evil. The villain is born from talent that never learned to exist without external validation. From wounds that were never tended. From love that was always conditional on achievement. From a teacher, Shifu, who taught a student that their worth was inseparable from a title. And when that title was withheld, Tai Lung had nothing left inside himself to stand on. That is not just a fictional character's tragedy. That is a human epidemic. How many brilliant, talented, driven people in your life have secretly tied their entire sense of worth to external achievement? And what happens to them when achievement is delayed, denied, or taken? Kung Fu Panda is asking you the hardest
question in the entire film. Do you know your value without the scroll? Could you love yourself fully if the recognition never came? Let's talk about Shifu and Po, because this lesson is about learning and about how the wrong method can make a gifted person feel completely broken. When Shifu first tries to train Po, he uses the same ruthless, demanding, traditional kung fu discipline he used with Tigress, Crane, Mantis, and Tai Lung. And Po fails spectacularly. Not because Po lacks ability, not because Po lacks heart, but because Po simply does not learn that way. He is not a Tigress. He is not a Tai Lung. He is Po. And nobody had ever asked what being Po actually meant.
And then comes a moment of pure, accidental revelation. Shifu watches Po move with breathtaking speed and impossible grace when there is food involved. His eyes go wide, and he realizes something that changes the entire story. It was never about finding a student who fit the teaching method. It was about finding the method that fit the student. This lesson is for every parent, teacher, coach, and leader watching this video. You have almost certainly met someone who was labeled lazy, slow, unmotivated, or difficult, when the real and simple truth was, nobody had found their language yet. Nobody had asked what made them come alive. And if you have been on the receiving end of that label, if you were the child, the student, the employee who was put in a box and told you didn't belong, I want to say something directly to you. Po was told by the silence of everyone around him that he was wrong for this path. But the path was wrong for him. The path needed to change, not Po. And Shifu's greatest act of mastery was not the technique he taught. It was the ego he released. The willingness to become a student of who Po actually was before he could become his teacher. That kind of humility is one of the rarest forms of love there is. Lesson 6. Inner peace is forged in fire. In Kung Fu Panda 2, Po faces something far more terrifying than any physical opponent. He faces the truth of his own past. He discovers that Lord Shen was responsible for the massacre of his village, for the death of his birth parents. And Po struggles in ways he never struggled before. He freezes in battle. He loses focus at the worst possible moments. The past reaches into the present like a hand closing around his throat. And Master Shifu, in what I believe is the most important piece of dialogue in the entire trilogy, says, the master's skill at finding inner peace comes from suffering. Inner peace, real inner peace, is not blissful unawareness. It is not distance from pain. It is not pretending that the past didn't happen or that the wounds don't still ache sometimes. It is the ability to hold the full weight of everything that happened to you and still find your center, still breathe, still choose. Po does not find inner peace by forgetting what was done to him. He finds it by sitting completely inside the pain, by going into the dark memory of what was lost and not running from what he found there. And from that impossible, courageous stillness comes a power that not even a cannonball can break. Think about the things in your own life you haven't fully sat with yet. The losses, the betrayals, the versions of yourself you are still ashamed of. Inner peace is not waiting for you on the other side of avoiding them. It is waiting on the other side of walking through them. And if you are in the middle of that walk right now, if you are in the hard, disorienting part, this film is breathing something quiet in your direction. You do not have to rush. You just have to keep going. Lesson 7. Your story is not over. There is one final moment I need to leave you with. At the lowest point of the second film, when Po has lost his team, learned the truth about Shen, and feels the entire world collapsing, an elderly woman who knew his birth mother tells him his story. She tells him how his village was destroyed. She tells him how his mother found a way to save him. She tells him what love looks like when it has nothing left to give, except a single act of impossible sacrifice. And then she says, calmly, clearly, looking him in the eyes, your story may not have had such a happy beginning, but that does not make you who you are. It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be. Read those words again. Your story may not have had such a happy beginning. How many people watching this video right now are carrying the weight of a beginning they never chose? A family they were born into, not by decision, but by birth. A wound received before they were old enough to protect themselves. A start that felt less like a launching pad and more like a sentence. Kung Fu Panda looks you directly in the eyes, unflinching, unafraid of your truth. And it says, that is not the whole story. That chapter is closed. That beginning is written. But the rest, every remaining word, belongs entirely to you. You are the author of what comes next. Not your past, not your fear, not the voices that told you there was no place for someone like you. You. We have traveled through 7 of the deepest truths, hidden inside one of the most beloved films ever made. The secret ingredient that was always you. The accidents that were never accidents. The gift of the present moment. The villain who lives inside unhealed wounds. The method that changes when the student matters more than the system. The inner peace forged in the fire of what hurt you. And the story that is still being written by the one person who has always held the pen. Before you go, I have one final question. Which of these 7 lessons landed for you today? Was it the dragon scroll that showed you your own reflection? Was it Oogway's reminder that your detours have direction? Was it Tai Lung's mirror, asking you to look at your own unhealed places? Was it the truth that inner peace is built, not given? Whatever it was, drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one, and your story might be exactly what someone else needed to find today. If this video gave you something, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps Hidden Lens reach the people who need these conversations. And if you are new here, you are in the right place. Every week on Hidden Lens, we take the films and stories the whole world has already seen, and we find the hidden layer underneath. the one that was always there, waiting for someone who knew how to look. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and explore the rest of the Hidden Lens channel, because I promise you, the rabbit hole goes much deeper than you expect. Thank you for being here. Keep watching. Keep questioning. And remember, your story is not over. It is just getting started.